I mean, if you literally want to protect yourself from something like that, if you think a mask is going to work, you should wear a hazmat suit. And I'm not joking. I'm serious about that.
Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, you've probably seen this, but there's some weird fog all over the place. People are filming fog in places they've never seen fog, particles in the fog they've never seen before. People are getting sick. Uh, they're putting out videos. The White House putting out videos with people all masked up. Something's in the air. People are getting sick a lot. And I wanted to invite our dear friend and partner, Tim James from Chemical Free Body on so he could help us stay healthy through this. How you doing, my brother? Happy New Year.
Hey, man, Happy New Year. Glad to be on. And so people can't fear the fog.
Yeah, would you, I don't know if you know we could have anticipated. I didn't have this on my bingo card that we're gonna have to talk about fog and shit. But here we are. Have you heard about this?
A little bit, and I haven't even had time to delve into it, but I do have feelers out to some people all over the United States that are usually in the know and bring things to light first, and so lots of testing and stuff of course will have to be done, otherwise you don't know. And
No.
I hardly find that wearing a mask is going to do anything, because the size of particles, like even when we talked about through COVID and viruses, even though we learned it wasn't a virus, but even if it was a virus, there was studies done even prior to COVID even happening that showed that viruses just fly through a mask by the particle size, right? And so what ended up happening was people were putting masks on, and even if it was a virus, it was just going to go right through the mask anyway and get in there, or go out. But what was happening was that the mask would then get wet from moisture, and then bacterium that was exiting and viruses that were exiting the body in its natural detoxification process were then culturing in the mask, and then we're rebreathing that stuff in. And so the long story short is that the end of that study, they showed that if you had a viral bacterial infection, you were going to increase the chances of it by 13 times by wearing a mask. Plus, it would disrupt your oral microbiome, which is the 700 bacterium in your mouth. There's about 4 or 5 of them that are not great, like gingivitis, and these things would then proliferate and grow because you would be changing the acidity or pH in the mouth, because the airflow changed, it become more acid, and so you would grow more of the gram-negative bacteria and destroy your teeth. And then what did we see from the dentist? Dentists reported a 50% increase across the board during COVID of rotting teeth, gum disease, and cracking teeth. So
Which
why
is
would anybody
absolutely
in their
not
right mind wear a
surprising.
mask? The N95s do work, but then you have another problem. You start lacking oxygen, and then you pass out, and you get, I mean, low oxygen is going to breed more disease in your body too. And so I feel really, my heart goes out to any of these first responders, nurses, and doctors in these hospitals that are forced to wear these masks. They're literally destroying their own health, thinking they're going to protect themselves from something. And it's like, there's actually some studies out there that are showing that it really doesn't even make sense to wear a mask even during surgeries. And I know that
Actually,
sounds
I've seen this.
weird,
No,
but
no,
it's
no, no, no. I've seen this in Scandinavia. They've really experimented and have actually stopped using masks even during surgeries in hospitals, and have had, if anything, less of an infection rate than more of an infection rate, which the mask really is.
a
It
petri
was
dish.
deemed. Yeah, they said, hey, here's going to be an open body. We don't want to get particles into the body during surgery. But they tested it. It really, wearing none had no negative effect
Yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah.
So yeah, I saw that. I read all the studies too. But one thing that is not a figment of our imagination is that people are sicker more often, longer, more severely, respiratory stuff. It's just, it's everywhere now. So, what is what's your take on this, and what can people do, and what do they do wrong usually, and what could they do better to protect themselves, to stay healthy, have a good immune system?
Well, I would say shut off the TV, like, number 1. I mean, this information type stuff's gonna get to you anyway, but, like, seriously, like, to me, wearing a mask is probably the most fruitless thing you could do. It's like, it's gonna make you sicker, right? Now, hey, everybody has a choice. You wanna wear one, go ahead, but there ain't no way I'm wearing one. Like, I know too much about it. This is all I
I've
do all
never
day
worn
long.
one.
And if
I've
and if
never
yeah,
worn.
and that's awesome, and if there was a reason for it and I actually had to do it, then I probably would wear like an N95 mask. Or, if I'm painting a car, I would wear a big mask, big respirator thing. If I was in a closed room painting a car or a room or something, I'm not stupid. I would
No, when I'm sanding off an old table, I wear a mask. Yeah, I do.
Of course. I mean, it's just common sense. But every day, there's no animal in nature that has to put a mask on. All right. So the deviation of all of our issues, excuse me, is the problem. All of our issues are coming from the deviation of nature. And don't buy into all this bullshit. And if there's anything fear based coming at you, 9 times out of 10, it's BS. And they're just trying to steer you to control you. I mean, that's really
Are
what
you
it boils.
talking about, the bird flu that's in everyone's it's, uh and the pushing for getting a even though there's nothing. There's nothing to talk about, nothing to
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's just yeah.
even the flu thing, the
Yeah.
jabs. Can we say babs jabs? Can we say that?
The flu juice, yeah, sure, the flu juice.
Okay, if you're making a batch of flu juice, the problem is by the time you have it, somebody gets the flu, that's a virus. Okay, viruses are naturally evolving, just like we're supposed to be doing. Unfortunately, we're de-evolving right now, but that's another story. But they're naturally evolving, and by the time that let's say you had the flu and you took that strain of the virus out, and you make a concoction to do that, to put it back into somebody as a deal, it the virus has already changed. It's a different virus. So it doesn't even
It
work. It's impossible. You cannot keep up with nature. So it's
I
silly.
know that, and I will say this, at least I have to throw it in there. After years and years of studying this, I'm pretty certain that what we deem to be virology is not right. It's not true. It's not how it works. I think we're talking maybe about something like pathogens, but that's for another day. I'm just saying, we are sort of dealing with so much bullshit in terms of what we were taught. What is to me really important is, and that's what you and I and everybody else here works on, is the terrain. How can we be optimized, healthy, loaded up with
Well,
nutrients, and also make sure that if something gets in, how to deal with it properly.
okay. So let's talk about fever today then. This is a basic thing that's been around for a long time and that people really need. I needed this education and I did not get it growing up, and I did not get it from the medical system. Why does the body create a fever? The body creates a fever because you have a pathogen in the body that's exploding, and it's the body's natural response to kill it and take care of it to get you back to your health point, your balance point, right? And so if you look at Hippocrates, we've talked about him many times before, the father of medicine. He said, "Let thy food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food." Most people know that statement. Some people know what he also said was, "He who is not his own doctor is a fool." This talks about self-responsibility and taking care of yourself like every living creature does. And one of the other things that he said that most people don't know is that he said, "Give me the power to create fever and I will cure all disease."
Hmm.
Give me the power to create fever and I will cure all disease. So what happens today? Your child gets a fever. And, "Oh my god, that's bad," you're told. "Fear, fear, fear." And, they're like low grade fever, 99.1 to 100.4, moderate grade is 100.6 to 102.2, high grade's 102.4 to 105.8. This is, by the way, this is right off of health.harvard.edu. So it's the Harvard website. When to worry about it? Like over 104. Okay. That's when you should worry. But why is the body creating a fever? To heal you. So, but what do they tell you? Take a Tylenol, bring the fever down, put them in the lukewarm water. They try to teach you to bring the fever down. Why in God's green earth would you stop God's natural detoxification and healing process? Why would you do that? The fever is
We
there to heal you. Hippocrates
we've
said,
never
"Give
done
me
that.
the power to create fever, I will cure all disease." Your body makes a fever, it's doing it as a healing response. So, in fact, I was teaching people this stuff for years. That's why I've been a massive big proponent for far infrared saunas, because far infrared actually raises the core temperature of the body and it creates an artificial fever. Some people can't afford those. So I was telling them, like, look, if you can't afford them, there's a trick that you can do that's been used or therapy, been used from ancient Ayurvedic traditional medicine. It's called ginger root. Okay, ginger root powder is very hot. It's very spicy. If anybody here ever made a green juice or put ginger in a something, it's freaking hot. So you can go down to your local store and buy a bunch of ginger root powder. It's cheap. Okay. And then what you do is you run a very hot bath, so hot you can barely get into it. And you gently put in 1 cup of ginger root powder into that bath and swirl it around. And you have to be very careful because if you get this stuff in your eyes, it's going to burn bad. Okay, so treat it.
How about other parts of the body?
Oh yeah. So as you get in, you want to swirl it around a little bit, especially in the genital areas, because it's gonna give a little snappy pop hot stuff going on, right? So you're gonna get in there, and you're gonna get in that bath for 20 minutes, and then you're gonna get out. But you don't rinse off. You want the ginger powder and the root all over your skin. Now rinse your hands really good because again, do not touch the eyes. It's going to burn your eyes. You have to be very careful with this stuff. You get out, you pat yourself off with a towel, and then what you do is you put on a set of long johns, tops and bottoms. Then you put sweatpants on, tops and bottoms, full sweat hood. You can put a stocking cap on. You wrap up in like 2, 3 big towels. Go climb in bed, and then lay there, and your body is going to turn into a fire, and you can
Are
create an
you
artificial fever with ginger root powder for a couple bucks at home. And we would have people do this. If you felt you were around somebody with the flu, you could do it as a preemptive because if you picked it up, you could knock it out. Or if you felt just the tingle of a flu or a cold coming on, go do the ginger root thing. Now, I don't have to do that anymore because I have a really badass far infrared sauna. It's the relax saunas we've been promoting for a long time. We have them on our website at chemicalfreebody.com. They're under Tim's favorites if you guys want to check them out. And those are actually fairly affordable. They're, 1,700 bucks, and that you can actually, they weigh
I
32
mean,
pounds.
compared to other saunas, this is, but Tim, hold on. I could probably look up like 10,000 videos on YouTube on how to break a fever, right? 10,000 videos. And at some point, like you say, 100 above 104, that might be a good idea. But you're telling us, here's how you can create a fever, get ahead of the curve, sweat the toxins, get the toxins out, burn them out, and be done with it. I've never heard the ginger root thing. We've never broken a fever in our children. So it usually only lasted for a day, a night, maybe. They got through it. They were better, much better.
The titles of all those videos shouldn't be how to break a fever. It should be how to stop the healing process. Because that's
Yeah,
exactly what they're doing.
that's
Now,
exactly.
when I say that, there are some circumstances, okay, because there's always caveats. It depends. Okay, if somebody has 105, 106 fever, okay, that you might need some you need, in fact, I'm not a doctor. I never claim to be. I'm a teacher. I'm an educator, and I'm a person who takes responsibility for my health. And I just experiment on myself, and whatever works and works for me and my family and friends and our listeners, then other people can go try it and see if it works for them, but do it at your own caution, right?
So, this is sort of, it can be preventative or it can be a curing method, right? When you're already there. What about preemptive? What about staying healthy? What about loading yourself up with the good stuff? What has been helping you, even if all this madness is going on?
Well, number one, like a lot of people forget about some of the basics. I make sure that my air is purified in my home. That's number one. So, unfortunately, that can cost some money. Some people have to spend to get a good air purification system. Those are around $855 up to about 1350. And we keep one of those units. Again, we have the Austins. We have those on our site. Um, but so you breathe 400 gallons of air an hour. So, we were just talking about this fog. If crap's going on outside and they're spraying weird stuff and we don't know what is causing problems and people are getting itchy and they're having respiratory issues, maybe you should, maybe hunker down in your house a little bit and you have purified air, then you're good to go, right? But if you have to go out, then what? Well, next thing is like water. How much water, clean, purified water do you have running through your system? You always want to have water in there. You should, I mean, I have one right here. I have purified, restructured water right here in a glass jar, right? I'll drink some right
Glass.
now because water is going to help the flow of whatever the crap that gets in there get out through the natural detoxification processes of the human body. So make sure you're always well hydrated, and then also focus on sleep, which is number 3, right? Without air, you die in 4 to 7 minutes. Without water, you die in about 11 days. Without sleep, you die in about 11 days. So if you can focus on those top 3 things, right? Your air, your water, and your sleep, you're going to be ahead of 95% of people right there. And what's happening during cold and flu season? It's not really the flu's like, okay, it's time to go get them. It's like, no, the reason why everybody gets sick is because kids are going back to school. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of parties. There's Halloween, crap loads of toxic candy with garbage, high fructose corn syrup in it, partying, drinking, that goes up. Then you've got, Thanksgiving, traveling, more stress, families, in laws, moving around, Christmas parties, and then boom, New Year's, booze, up late, less sleep,
It's like he's
more
writing a
booze.
song.
It's the
New
it's the
Year's
perfect
booze.
perfect storm. It's the perfect storm to lower your immune system, and so that those flu bugs and cold bugs that have always been floating around, they've been around you the whole time. But when your immune system drops, the walls of the castle are down, it's easy for them to come in, and then you're sick. So it's always gonna be about boosting immune system. It's not like fear running away from some bug and wrapping yourself up in, I mean, if you literally wanna protect yourself from something like that, if you think a mask is gonna work, you should wear a hazmat suit, and I'm not joking, I'm serious about that. If you're gonna live in fear mode and you think that you need a mask, they don't work. You should wear a hazmat suit.
So true, Tim. So true. There's one thing that we've been doing. I got my in-laws here for the month of December. They've been with us, holidays, everything. And every morning, every afternoon, there is the stuff that's behind you, a cup of the green goodness, and that's part of their. They have this whole little ritual going on with a few of your products, but um, you're sort of the chemical free body, and what you're doing and the bundle that you put together for our audience is sort of like it's like the golden ticket for raising your immune system and staying healthy. I mean, I can't put it any other way.
Yeah, with nothing, with never bad stuff in it. Like I today, like was talking to a lab, and they were like, "Well, we have this organic flavor masker thing," and I'm like, "What's in it?" Because I'm doing I'm actually I do some other stuff for some other companies. I'm helping another company make a formula right now, and I was like, "Well, what's in it?" And then she's looked and she's like, "Oh, it's got maltodextrin in it. You're not gonna." Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, forget about it. Like, I don't want nothing to do with it." But anyway, back to this whole fog thing. So whether you have respiratory issues, whether you have pneumonias, flus, anything respiratory or any viral type stuff or any toxins coming in from whatever the heck's in that fog, um, you can boost your immune system. So get lots of rest, drink lots of water, make sure your air's clean if you can. Yeah, you can drink the greens, like get your gut clean, toxify. Also, what we've used is that silver, the solution, the triple action nano silver solution. That stuff
Every day.
I take that daily. But when you're in respiratory stress, you can also nebulize that stuff. So if you have anything that's viral or bacterial or mold based or yeast or fungus, because we don't know if there's mold or funguses in those fogs.
Yep.
You can cover the whole gamut with that nano silver stuff. If it's not that, then it's probably something else. It's probably nanotech, some type of weird stuff, or I don't know what they got going on, you know?
I would assume it's probably a combination of something, a technological
Yeah.
carrier bringing something in. I mean, at
Yeah.
least that's what
So,
so far
and
seems
if
to be.
that's
Yeah.
the case, then you probably wanna be wearing nicotine patches every day because 'cause that'll probably take care of about 70% of that stuff, depending on what it is, but, anyway, so the silver's a really good thing because there are a lot of, weaponry being used, aerosolized in the air I've heard of from many sources that are mold-based and fungus-based. Right? And then also viral and bacterial. So that's why that silver like is so effective because it works on all of them and it's cheap. It doesn't taste bad. And you can also nebulize it in the case of severe where it's already kind of got a grip and got a hold of your respiratory tract. So I think, I mean, that pretty much covers it. Like crate fevers, you can use that, like I said, on the cheap. You can just use the ginger root. If you got $1,700, you can go to our website and get the relax sauna, and then you can just take one every day, like I do, and like a lot of our clients and stuff do. We sold a lot of those saunas over the last Christmas break area. People are
I got
gifting
one.
them.
I got a really good infrared sauna, thankfully, in my gym. So that's where I go. I can feel if I feel something coming on, I go there. Boom. The next day, I feel like $1 million again. Tim, where can people find out more about the chemical free body products? What you do, how you do it, Where can they order? Where can they save? Tell us more about it, please.
Absolutely. So you guys can just go to chemicalfreebody.com/inspired. Chemicalfreebody.com/inspired. If you end up not going through that link and you'll end up directly on our website, then just make sure you use the code INSPIRED to get your discount. And then we also have that, and you might not see the Inspired Bundle that Jean and Christine have. We've worked with them to put together. But if you go through the chemicalfreebody.com/inspired link, you can learn all about that bundle specifically, and that's already discounted. So you end up with a double discount with the Inspired code, and we have a double your money back guarantee on all of our products. And so these are part and parcel with all of the arrows in my quiver. So, like I said, there's a lot of things you can do on the cheap. You don't always have to buy a product, but if you
Oh yeah.
have financially can afford them, they're just more arrows in your quiver to work against these things. I just, it's one of those weird deals. Like when I first got into the health industry, I lost money for 5.5 years because I didn't charge anybody anything on coaching because I felt guilty. But then I dumped hundreds of thousands into traveling and trying to help myself heal and my friend with cancer. And so I realized that, like, we want to help you. We want to give you free things that you can do at home. But there's also, I've worked so hard with trying to find the best of the best for myself. And then we've made some of these products into things that we've carried. And then other things like the Relax Sauna, I sold those for almost a year before he gave me a dealership on them, able to sell them. I stopped selling the other ones. I promoted his. I made no money. So I lost an income stream because his were better, and I no longer would tell people about the other ones. But that's kind of how I work. So if anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this, but we just love and care
I
about
know
people,
where
and I
you're
don't want
going
them to
with.
think that we're just trying to sell them products all the
No,
time.
I know where you're going with this. Christine and I have literally invested probably tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands in research, because we were looking for the best products that we could find for our family. Because if I'm at my best, I can bring my best, when we're on the air and when we're working with people, I have to be the best possible version of me. I realized that just by eating food, even when we grow it ourselves, we usually don't get there. We don't cover what we need. So when we found you, and then we really tested it, right? We told you, Tim, we want to test this, and that's how we came up with the bundle. And then I said, okay, when I love something, when it works for me and my family, and when I believe in it 100%, then I'm going to tell everyone about it, right? And then I'm telling my friends, my family, and that's what we're doing. But none of this is free to produce, right? It actually costs a lot of money to get to that level of quality, and then you're competing with others who are pretending to have high quality but usually have a lot of fillers in there. We wanted the best of the best. Chemical Free Body is up there at the top of the top, and basically the bundle that we put together is just to sort of copy my bundle. That's what we do. If you want to give it a try, but like Tim said, it's important. All the rest that you do between when you get up and when you go to sleep matters the most. What you do there and how you know your lifestyle,
Yeah,
basically, that really matters, and we have
yeah.
other shows on that, right? And
And if
Tim,
you and
where
if
can
you if
people?
you if you really want to change things, it's always vote with your dollars. Like you probably have products laying around your house you bought from all kinds of companies. Where are they made? Where are they manufactured? What's the quality of them? Quality is disappearing. It's becoming a lost art. How do you get it back? You find companies like ours. You try them out. If you like them, you patronize us. We keep delivering the best of the best that we can in our little niche, and you get quality products and you get better health. And it's a win-win scenario.
Amen, Tim. And what you do so beautifully is when you go to chemicalfreebody.com/inspired, you'll also see that Tim offers a ton of free advice, coaching. He's got his shows, his podcasts on there. You can give them a call, ask a question if you have it. The customer service is fantastic, and it's just a company that we love, Tim. We love what you do, and we love supporting you, and we
Mhm.
appreciate working with you. So thank you for everything, brother. And we'll do this very soon again
Awesome.
very soon.
Yep. I hope we gave them something today that they can take action on. That's really important, and it inspires you to be a better version of yourself and stay healthy and be part of the ripple effect of positive change out there.
Boom. I love it. Tim James, founder of Chemical Free Body. Thank you so much for joining us again today, sir.
Thank you, buddy.
And Inspired Tribe, thank you so much for tuning in. You know, we love you, we appreciate you, and we will be back with you again very, very soon.